How's the IQM going, Cub? How are you finding?
That's really, really good. But I think what it is though, Charlie, because I've looked more at quantum theory, which is all part of IQM,
Yeah.
Integrative Quantitative Medicine.
Yes.
It's really the work of Greg Braden, which I read his book, The Divine Matrix,
Yes.
and that really shifted something in me.
Mm-hmm.
In the way of the book spoke to me.
Yeah.
It's something that really resonated with me.
Mm-hmm.
In the sense of, we talk about consciousness and we talk about the universe. Yet this book really described how we can communicate with it.
Mm-hmm.
And Greg Braden started off as a physicist.
Yeah.
I can't remember if he was working for NASA or the American government.
Mm-hmm.
But it was clear by the way that he wrote that he really understood how you can look at someone who is very unwell. Are you recording this at the moment?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And I'll give you an example about quantum theory. So recently I had to deal with a patient who he had a very nasty fall and he broke his neck and he broke his back in 2 places. And he basically was going to die. So I was called in by his family and he went to intensive care, and there is this man with all the, tubes and everything.
Yeah.
And his family are visibly very upset and very distraught. So I start off then by just moving around in what we describe as an auric field, and I start seeing him totally recovered, because that is the basis of quantum theory, that you see someone being their very, very, very best. Slowly but surely, his vital signs began to come back. After, I'd say, 7 or 8 weeks, me visiting him twice a week, in maybe 3 months, I'm not sure now, but we've got to a stage where he can now communicate through a voice box because he's still on a breathing machine. Mm-hmm. They said that he would never move his legs. He is now beginning to move his legs by command. Wow. There are now nerve impulses in his arms, and he is now beginning to come back really emotionally. And there's 2 sides to that, because of course, one, when someone comes back emotionally, it's great for the family, but for the person who's in that position, it's a very daunting and a very long journey. Yet, by the power of continuously seeing this man walking, getting himself back to total functionality, I know one day that he will come off that ventilator.
Yeah.
And I know that he will make a 100% recovery.
Yeah.
There's another gentleman called Dr. Joe Dispenza, who is obviously also in this quantum theory field. And Joe, he broke his back. And within several weeks or months, had completely then healed his back completely. And Greg Braden and Joe Dispenza are massive leaders in this field of quantum theory and know much more than I. Yet, as a practitioner, of integrative quantum medicine, which was set up by the wonderful Louise Meter in Hawaii, I can channel all of this into the patients that I see at the Hale Clinic in London, in Harley Street, where I work.
Yeah.
And so I deal with everything from intensive care all the way through to seeing people in Harley Street who may suffer from depression, anxiety. They may have had a stroke or a heart attack. They may have cancer. With quantum, it's all the same theory, where you see that individual well. There's more to that than just seeing the individual well, because the individual also has to see themselves well and actually really start living that life, that they have recovered from depression, that they have recovered from a very serious accident. And because that reacts then with the quantum theory, it's almost like two consciousnesses coming together and coming together in the most amazing way to create a healthy outcome. There's another part to this equation where that there are also different outcomes or different paths to get to health. Because if it was that simple, where you just saw someone being well and that was easy, anybody could do that. It's not that simple. As I said, there are many different outcomes. It was the Dalai Lama actually said that, and this sort of explains quantum really, really well. You can pray for world peace every single day of your life, and that is the most amazing thing to do. But until you find peace within yourself, you will actually never be able to create world peace. And that's what quantum is about. It's about living it. It's about being it. It's about, we talk about manifesting stuff, but yeah, that's very important, but you have to live it.
To embody it.
Absolutely, to embody it. And you have to walk in it every single day of your life. And that brings about true health. It brings about true peace in a greater consciousness and awareness that then can bring about global peace, or global awareness of the environment and the ecology. I'm going, obviously to different parts here, but and what I'm trying to say is everything is totally possible.
Yeah.
And I think the work of integrative quantum medicine is bringing a totally amazing new start for people and different conditions, as I say, from emotional to physical. And I really do believe, that we've already stepped off the cliff, if you want to call it that, from mainstream medicine. And even when Theresa Hale set up the Hale Clinic in 1998, I think it was, which was opened by Prince Charles, I think in the September or the June of that year. Medicine, energy medicine, has changed dramatically even since then. So people are embracing all these different things now, and because they know somewhere deep in their psyche, in their unconscious mind, that this is good. It's resonating somewhere. It's innate.
Does that make it potentially easier then for the patient to meet you halfway? Because there is a greater acceptance or greater awakening to the potential of quantum physics, the quantum realm, and so on. So it's no longer quite such a leap for people. So they can actually now make that connection with you, the healer, a little bit easier, potentially.
Yeah, and I think that's very, very true. And one of the massive breakthroughs in quantum theory, and when people are really taking this on board, another aspect of my work is healing buildings, which I've done from homes to stately homes to workplaces, you name it, I've done it over the last 25 years.
Yeah.
But it used to be that I would always have to go there. But now, because people are so much more aware of energy and quantum being everything is connected,
Yeah.
what we do is, so if someone's got a problem, let's say someone's got a problem with their office or their building in New York.
Yeah.
So what we'll do is we set up a time, they put me on WhatsApp video, they can show me their office or their home, and I get my pendulum out,
Mm-hmm.
and it will start moving clockwise like it is at the moment, and it will start picking up the energy in the building that's being shown to me on WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Automatically, that person who's then holding the space or is holding the phone can feel that energy is beginning to move.
Yeah.
And recently, when I did this for someone in New York, it was very noticeable to all their staff. When they came in the next day, they were like, "Wow, this is extraordinary."
Yeah.
And so we are all connected.
Yeah.
There's no doubt in my mind.
Yeah.
Because, I do this probably on a weekly basis where I would maybe heal buildings, as say in the States or other places in Europe, whether it's on WhatsApp or whether someone's actually given me pictures of a space. But you can tune into that. We are all one.
Yes.
We are all one divine matrix, which is exactly what Greg Braden has said.
Yes.
So, we could be sitting here all day talking about this, and where does that actually really, really lead us?
Yeah.
If we are all one?
Mm-hmm.
Because in a greater consciousness as a species, we are all one. So there is nothing that should separate us from loving each other in such an amazing way to create peace or anything else we want in this world.
Yeah.
To heal this planet and go forward. So for me, the amazing breakthroughs in quantum, people's thinking, people's awareness, people's consciousness is taking us to a completely new level on how we look at health, our recovery, what we are now capable of. And if we still work hand in hand with the medical profession, this is what I've seen working in intensive care, that you can work alongside a very, very high qualified medical team, which know their stuff inside out.
Yeah.
And just going back to the gentleman I was talking about in intensive care, without their help, this gentleman would not have survived. So integrative care for patients is paramount in extreme situations. Whether it's an accident, a terrible accident like that, where someone breaks their spine, has a very, very severe head injury, or cancer, numerous other conditions. But as I said, we are on the verge of, I think, extraordinary things regarding health.
And you have integrated your own healing practice in a sense, because for years you've been a renowned healer, doing your work, and now you've kind of added to it with IQM. So that's interesting, isn't it? You see, that wonderful integration of having kind of
Absolutely.
both, which
Yeah,
serves
yeah,
you
yeah.
well.
It does, and I think, as you say, having integrative quantum medicine, IQM, alongside my own intuitive abilities and intuitive healing, it sort of creates a bundle approach, you know, where you can tap into different energies and use them,
and use touch when
yeah,
appropriate.
absolutely.
And all of that. So you're using your full.
Yeah. I mean, normal healing, as we know, is done very much like this: open hands. You're working. You might be touching. IQM is very much about you're testing whether something is strong or weak. Mm-hmm. If it's weak, you correct it through a process. But IQM goes from very deep cellular level, testing for all the cells, different types of cells, to the spine, the whole spinal system, all the nervous system, the total nervous system, your whole system to do with all the organs of your body. Very in-depth body stuff where you're testing and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And then it goes out there through that you have different emotional matrix that you deal with, negative, positive, why someone's blocking being healed when actually you can then undo that, so they become much more open. To the acupuncture, all the acupuncture meridians, the chakras, then even more going out there into, more extreme stuff, which is very, very important. It's all very important. And a lot of IQM is also about your lineage, your ancestry, how you clear that in the masculine and the feminine, to take away things which may be in your lineage that's holding you back, physically, emotionally. So yeah, it's basically saying again that you can clear anything. Now, I have to put a proviso in there, of course, because if we could clear anything, that would be amazing. Yet it comes down to this point that if you really, really want it, then you really, really, really have to live it. And, there's no failures in this game. If someone sadly didn't get what they wanted, that doesn't mean to say that they've failed or done it wrong. Mm-hmm. It just purely means that's where they get to. And there will be some improvement for them. Mm-hmm. There really, really will. So everyone will improve to some degree. And many will make that, that massive recovery that they want. It will take time. It could take, for someone with a spinal injury, it could take months or years. Of course it could. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But, I've seen it play out in front of me. Yeah. So I know it's possible, and with my own health as well, I've saw that. So.